Thank you. Last question from the non-script, Mr. Monot.
Oui, bonjour Monsieur KATAINEN.
Good evening, Mr. KATAINEN. Well, in the Economic Commission, I think we have to look for growth in the Eurozone. You were talking about the monetary and economic recommendations, and had they been correctly implemented, we would achieve growth of, well, up to about 6%, you were saying, within 5 years. Now, as a former European leader, I'm sure you're aware of the fact that recently member states have been given a new calculation method as of 2014 from INSEE France for the GDP, which takes account also of illegal activities, prostitution, drug trafficking, and smuggling as well. And that was recommended by the OECD. They called it the informal economy. I would personally call it the criminal economy. But I have two questions. Do you think that this is a moral and ethical approach for economic and monetary policy? And for this new statistical calculation method, are you going to count on it in order to artificially boost your own calculations for growth?
Thank you very much. Economy is just a tool. It does not have values. The politicians must give values to economy. And there, the ethical questions and moral questions are, of course, very important. For instance, tax policy or tax fraud or collecting taxes. It's a highly moral question. But also you mentioned the other areas of things which I don't know that well. I would like to hear a bit more in order to give you a better answer, maybe to your this part of the question. But for me, it looks a bit complicated to add new elements to the economic rules which we have at the moment. I mean, if there were fewer indicators, even if from important part of sustainability of societies, but they are sometimes very complicated to measure. So that's why I wouldn't like to add more indicators. But in national level, the politicians are in charge of moral and ethical sustainability of the economy. If I understood your second point, whether if it was like how to interpret the figures, also I'm sure if I get you right, but I'd like to be as simple as possible when interpreting the figures, because we are partially in a crisis at the moment because there's been creative interpretation of the figures. And I would like to avoid this. It is very bad for the member states themselves, but also there is a risk of losing confidence if somebody gets caught us up using too complicated interpretation of the figures. Yeah, maybe no.
Thank you very much.